Go.
Okay, now I'm going to show you why the girlfriend and I seldom go out to restaurants these days, because cooking is kind of fun and it's also easier than it looks. Now, let's start. We're going to do like a pasta tonight, and let's start with the ingredients. Have a look at this, Joyce. That's some cheese we're going to put in later on. We've got some lovely chopped spinach. And while I talk about this, I'm going to put in some oil in the pan. We've got some lovely straw mushrooms, a bit of tomato in there. Got a chopped onion or two. Bit of flour. Here, the flour's here. Yeah, that's the flour. And we've got, of course, garlic. And it's going to be tomato based. I've never done this before. And it's going to come out, I guarantee you, not just edible, but fairly impressive. Now, I mentioned earlier that it was a salmon pasta, so here's some salmon that we prepared for it. I know that looks horrible, but it's actually a nice marinade that we made earlier. Now what goes into it? Balsamic vinegar, some vegetable oil, what else?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar, a bit of honey.
A bit of honey.
Bit of honey, splash of...
Oh, that's it really?
That's it really? Okay, cool. So here we have our salmon, which we're going to cook first. Now, since I used olive oil, we don't want the heat to be too high. I think when it starts to smoke is when it loses all of its lovely antioxidants and vitamins and what have you. So, you definitely don't want to be testing the pan by putting your fingers on it. But let's see how this goes, okay? Okay, that's a lot hotter than I thought it would be. So I'm just going to send that heat down a bit. I know they always say this on cooking shows, but I wish you could smell this because it actually smells quite nice. Right then, okay, through the magic of skillful editing, this has been cooking for like 2 or 3 minutes on like pretty low heat. Yeah, I have no idea if it's done, but it kind of smells and looks done. So what we're going to do is take it out of here and leave it to one side before we use it for our pasta. Speaking of pasta, we've actually had some linguine on the pot over there if you want to show those nice people. And you know, I kind of like to cook the pasta a little bit underdone. They call that al dente in Italy. So it means to the teeth, literally. And it's kind of nice when you have it kind of chewy instead of soggy. Okay, now, all these lovely vegetables that we have here, they're going to want to go into the mix as well. So a little bit more oil into that. And let's just use whatever came out of the salmon, I don't care. Let's start with the onions, which take a while to cook, so we're going to put them in first. And I bet you there's like real cooks out there watching this going like, oh man. Okay, but you know, this is probably what goes on in the back rooms of restaurants everywhere. By the way, if I ever open a restaurant, I don't think it's going to last very long. Okay, I've also thrown the garlic in, and you know that kind of makes it smell like real cooking. Generally, I tend to do these in the order that it takes for them to cook. So the onions take kind of a while to cook, so I put them in first, and then the garlic. And I'm going to just kind of toss in what we have here, which is a couple of cherry tomatoes, some lovely enoki mushrooms. Now, you don't really find them in pasta, but I had them in the fridge, and they've been there for a while, so I thought I would use them. And that is going to look like a lot, but it's also going to shrink quite a lot when we are done with it. So cooking is kind of just pushing stuff around. Look, push. Yeah. Now, while we've done this, we've actually taken the pasta out of the boiling water. It said 7 minutes on the package, but I think we took it out like sort of 5-6 minutes because we like it undercooked. Authentic Italians that we are. And what we did was we ran some cold water over it. You know, it's been drained, but you know we want to stop it from cooking, so we want to cool it really quickly. And that's exactly the tip you can use. Once you pull it out of the water, just bung it over the sink, pour some cold water all over it, and it will stop cooking. Okay, our veggies are getting nice and reduced now, and I'm going to put this lovely salmon back in. I've actually tasted some of it, and it came out okay. So in it goes. I'm just going to mix those flavors for a minute. Kind of nice and put in there. And after this, we're gonna. The recipe kind of calls for a bit of white wine, but I'm not gonna open a bottle of wine tonight, so I reckon we'll just use some Chinese wine. Here we are, rice wine. Again, chefs all over the world are going like, yeah, kind of smells like wine. So let's see. The recipe calls for a dash, so does it call for a dash?
We don't know.
You don't know? Okay, well.
It's rice wine, doesn't matter anymore.
It's rice wine, so. Put that in. It actually smells quite nice. So we've got veggies with rice wine, we've got salmon, and it's all coming together quite nicely. Now, the part where I cheat a little bit is we use store-bought pasta sauce. There's a whole bunch of brands out there, but I like this one. It's Prego. How about sending me a case, Prego? It tastes kind of nice. It's not too expensive. And I always have a couple of jars in the house because you can make, little pizzas, or you could do like, pastas and such. Should we put this in?
Yes, we shall.
Let's do that. Now I always get frustrated with the last bit of tomato sauce in there, so what I do is get a bit of water. Water from the kitchen, mind you. And just give it a swish. And in it goes. There we go. Okay, now at this stage I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit because I don't want it to cook too much. I just want it to simmer. Now, the recipe actually called for a bit of cream, which I'm not going to use. I've used milk. You wonder what this is? It's milk. I put it in here to just get rid of the tomato sauce in the pasta jar, in the pasta sauce jar. And that goes in, and wow, look at that. It's quite a lot. I don't want the heat to be too high because, that, to me, it kind of breaks up the milk once it goes and you get all this sort of powdery, clumpy stuff. So, let's just let that reduce slowly, to use chef language. And for some reason, there's, the recipe calls for a bit of flour as well. So, I'm going to throw some flour in. And it calls for exactly 2.5 tablespoons of flour, which I measured right down to the last bit of powder to be like yay much.
So you couldn't find the measuring spoon, could you?
No, it's around somewhere. I just didn't want to wash it. So anyway, yay much. And it didn't turn out right, so we'll blame the measuring spoons. And I'm just gonna fold that in. Yeah, look at that. That is actually looking quite nice.
It is. And it smells nice.
Does it? Okay, good. Alright, I think it's going to want to reduce a little bit, huh?
Okay.
Hey, our sauce is actually looking quite decent now, and we're going to stir some cheese in. I'm going to use that awful sort of sliced crushed stuff. This is some cheese which is grated. It's a mix of mozzarella and some cheddar. And, the recipe said for like half a cup of cheese, which is, rather American in portions, so it's just, use a little splash of it. See, and also because we're in Singapore, we decided that, it would have a kick if it had some of these. Some gorgeous chili patty. So let's throw that in and see how that works. Oh yeah. And you know what? Our sauce is more or less done. So we're going to let that simmer for like a couple of minutes, let all the flavors to intermingle and get acquainted and have little baby flavors. And what we're going to do, obviously, is just take this off the stove, put it onto our pasta, and we're good to go. And that is what you can do instead of going out to a restaurant. It's not fun, it's kind of romantic. And I tell you what though, if your girl doesn't like to cook, all you have to do, is just learn one or two simple recipes like this one. Kind of invite her over and get all this done before she shows up. And assuming this tastes okay, when she comes home, you've got a hot meal waiting for her. Oh, she's gonna melt like chocolate in the mouth. So good luck. Try it out and let me know how it goes out.